Hello, everyone. The topic is balancing corporate growth and UX improvement with e-commerce design. From LINE EC Division Senior Manager, Hashimoto-san. From Zozo UI UX Design Department, Hayashi-san. And from Yahoo Japan, Yahoo Shopping Design, Tanaka-san. The three members will talk about balancing business and UI UX in each service. So e-commerce is something indispensable these days, and it has been provided to users from various aspects. So balancing business growth and UX, there are many things to talk about. In this session, we have leaders of EC products from LINE, Yahoo Japan, and Zozo. And how should this issue be addressed, and how you contribute, and how to strike a balance between business and UI and UX. And you will be talking about large-scale product renewals. And I will be moderating this session. I am Emori from Yahoo Japan Corporation. I joined Yahoo in 2006, and I have been planners, directors, and producers. And last year, in 2021, I became head of the CX design department of shopping section. And together with Tanaka-san here, we talk about shopping from the design point of view on a daily basis. But it's not good that I speak all the time. So please start with your self-introductions, starting with Hashimoto-san. So I am Kengo Hashimoto from LINE. So maybe you might be asking questions about my picture because I look very different from the photo. I didn't have any photos to submit, so I only had a photo from which I used in my ID card 10 years ago. So please understand that I might be looking a little bit different from the picture. So I talked about my company ID 10 years ago. So I came from Naver Japan. So I joined Naver Japan in 2010. And it was rare for a company in Japan to have a UX design department, but I belong to that department. And my mission was, and I was very interested in the methodologies of UI UX design. And Naver became LINE, and I have been involved in many products after having joined LINE. And I am now in charge of the product design of the Portal and Search Company and JPEC Company. The main products are LINE News as well as LINE Gift. So I am in charge of design for these products. Hashimoto-san, you haven't changed. I've changed. My hair's color is totally different. Hayashi-san from Zozo. I am Kenta Hayashi, and I'm design manager at Zozo. I joined Zozo in 2006. I wasn't a designer back then. I joined the logistic warehouse. I was a part-time worker there. But there has been an internal placement from the design department, and I was very interested. So I used to be a customer of Zozo Town, so I got to know Zozo from the website, and I applied because I was told that I did not need any prior experience. So that's where I started my career. And then I got involved in operating and development Zozo Town, as well as sales and promotion. And from last year, I have become a manager in the UI UX field. And me too, I could not find a picture with only myself. And so I took this just last week. So it looks very Zozo-like. So you have so much experience, you can do everything by yourself, starting from design. No, maybe, but maybe that's not the case. Thank you. And you are wearing blue. And the design is a little bit different. My T-shirt is a little bit different from the others. Oh, that's fine. You're the leader. So Risa-san? I come from Yahoo, Japan. I'm Risa Tanaka. So I am responsible for Yahoo Shopping, Yahoo Japan shopping service. And I joined Yahoo Japan in 2016 as a new graduate. And I happened to be assigned to Yahoo Japan shopping. And it's been 7 years since I joined, but ever since I have been involved in EC design. When I joined Yahoo Japan, I joined as a designer. Designing UI, UX, and I was also coding back then. And after 3 or 4 years, I wanted to do some work to materialize my ideas. Then I moved to the planning department, and for 3 years, I was involved in planning, for example, for increasing conversion. And after 3 years, I was contemplating about my next career. And I wanted to work closer to the customers. So I came back to the design department after getting experience. So I am really looking forward to talking to you. I call you Risa-san, and I'm really dependent on Risa-san in my work. I ask everything. Every time I have a question, I ask Risa-san. So I will also ask questions to Risa-san today. So we will now like to move into the session. So we will start with the introduction of the most recent large-scale renewal case study. So each of the panelists have prepared their slide. The panelists will be talking about services. If you have a smartphone in front of you, maybe you can listen while accessing the actual app. So Line launched a new feature back in October. So to start with, this was a renewal of Line Gift, which I would like to introduce to you. First of all, maybe you might be surprised to hear this. Line Gift. Cosmetics, beauty category is growing remarkably. YOY 360% increase. So it's quite a significant, impressive increase in EC. And I am also working on EC, but it was a surprise to me that beauty category is growing so much. And in the weekly meeting, the sales department is working hard and have been enriching the lineup of the merchandise. And the cosmetic portion has increased within the Line Gift, resulting in this number. So I would like to express my appreciation to the salespeople of Line Gift. So this number is a background. In August of this year, in the summer, Line Gift, the head of the department has given the instruction to really strengthen our efforts on cosmetics. So projects to really increase the beauty started. And on the 19th of October, the line Gift Beauty was released. And I think it was back in August, so it's been 2 months. In 2 months, we released this. So I think this is quite fast, even for line.
So with that high speed, we try to provide services to users. I think in that sense, it was a kind of turning point. So usually when we make up some planning and release, it was not that type of standard way of doing that. But from the beginning, we just focused on the, firstly, design. Firstly, we made up some illustrations. And also with the planning section, we discussed what should we do. So we used Figma to do designing. And with this Figma, so design, UI, look and feel are generated. And also together with planning section, we all each other exchange opinions. And it's a very high speed. We decided to make a decision what to do. And furthermore, it was transferred to the development side so that it would be released. So it was a very quick service release in this case. And so just delivering services to the users is not enough. So at the point that we are particular about, so the area is about beauty. So the topic is about beauty. So the pictures here needs to be very emphasized. So we focused on the pictures. So the UI UX, it's very particular. It's more like a showcase as UI UX in this line gift. So we're very particular about those, how you show them, how we show them. And we also took pictures in our studio at my company so that we can make up our pictures. So we try to provide new values as well as new experiences through this line beauty. That was the concept in this project. So of course, Zozo-san is very advanced in the area of beauty, I'm sure. But ourselves, yeah, we understand that it is not enough at all. Just in 2 months, we launched that service. It was a very hard task. We did a lot of benchmark testing. In the case of line gift, for example, it's sometimes it's a gift that you're going to give. But in the case of beauty, cosmetics, the colors, fragrance, there are many factors that users decide to choose. And that kind of functions are not available. So right now we are trying to develop it. And also review is also very important. So it's not also enough right now. So we are still developing those factors. And it's not only about beauty section, but in line gift as well as line corporation, this is one of the focus areas. So traditionally we focused more on the conversion when it comes to services. And based on that type of review, regret partially. So we try to change. So in the case of Starbucks, we can provide some gift card with a Starbucks quickly to the customers. That's one nice experience. But when you give a gift to a person with some appreciation, it's not everything about that. I mean, we are reviewing about that action itself. So the experience of the gift should be much more valuable for the users. We want them to be updated about the experience, gift experiences for the users. So as a company-wide action, we are trying to execute those concepts into action. So line gift, it's not only about service, but also line as a touch point. This should be also requested to be improved, probably. And also, it's not only about line services, but also should be focused on messaging, such as, I'm very happy to receive this gift, or I'm very happy that I sent a gift to that person, so that we can improve the total experience. So that would lead to the total improvement of the UI UX of gift. So as a slogan, we have this closing the distance. So I think that type of action that I mentioned should lead to the concept of this closing the distance. So next year, from now on to the next year, we will be focused more on the improvement of your UX of gift. So I hope you could enjoy using it. Thank you. Thank you very much. So in 2 months you release that service, right? So you use Figma and design focused. You try to improve various trials. So what happened if you tried before? How long does it take? So it usually requires specification definition as well as CMS and so on. Of course, we did those, but usually at earliest it would take 6 months. So, but it was 1/3 of the standard time frame. So I think it's a very rare case. So what is the difference between these two cases? Well, firstly, the background is about figures. We need to be quick to release so that we can know the response from the market. It's not only about the market or the design, but it's also about the business in total. We wanted to receive response. So anyway, we should try. So as a line style, we just try it. That was an original style. So based on that, we released services. That's how we went. I see. So of course there is a figure, but you also thought that there is a kind of a wave going on that you should show them, and UX oriented, UI oriented, and try to take actions. Right. So UX, maybe I might mention it later. It's not only for designers, but it's more like a kind of a service conditions or business conditions, including the market and so on. So it should be more like a comprehensive aspect. So that led to this type of project. Okay, thank you very much. Any comments or questions from Hayashi-san, Mr. Hayashi? So to minimize the time period, duration of the development, is that only because of Figma? Well, what about other reasons why you were able to do that? Well, we try to focus anyway on the project. So it was a big consensus agreement. So front-end planning, QA, so there are many processes. And there has been a lot of factors developed and configured by sales. But there should be some consensus among all related members. And so line product, line service, every member loved that type of service. So that's why we had a nice consensus. So we were looking at the same direction. I think that was one of the biggest factor. Yeah, I really feel the same type of passion. Thank you. So when it comes to consensus, so your UX designer's role, what is the role of designers when it comes to reaching consensus or UI UX? Well, all the members should look at the same direction. And in order to achieve that, I think environment or stage, I should say, is very important. And the designers are the only person who can actually make that stage realistic. So by showing the new illustration that would show the new vision, then that will attract people that, okay, we are going to go this direction, or be sure about the vision that they're going to go for it. So in order to do that, we need some visions and stages, and the specific action should be made by the designers. Okay, thank you very much. That's really I wanted to hear from you. Anything from you, Risa? So in line gift, looking at cosmetics and beauty, users should be specific in each of the segment. But under that, do you have any specific reason why you selected some specific design? So any particular point in the selection of the design? Maybe I talked about partially. So UX design focused on conversion is one thing, but as for beauty of the pictures, sizzling type of aspect. So I really want to purchase this item here. That point is very important in my opinion. So compared with the home tab of gift, the pictures are different. So suppose you visit a department store. The first floor is usually the section for cosmetics. And many women would visit the brand you love. Well, sometimes you want to change mind. So usually you walk around the floor of the cosmetics in the case of the department, and that's how you usually enjoy shopping. So that type of showcase factor was focused. So that from that in mind, we try to make some beautiful pictures, and also there are some brand categories pictures, and those should be also visible for the customers. That's also the point that we mentioned. We focused. So in order to become beautiful, so you need to see something very beautiful. That was the point I really focused. Okay, thank you very much.
Smartphones, the screen is small, so how to make it beautiful, how to create this sense of immersiveness, it might be challenging. Yes, it is. EC, the product lineup or content merchandise coverage is important for EC. And in the small smartphone screen, how do you strike the balance? This is something when developing EC UX, I always see this as a challenge. Maybe Zozo might have the answer. We're looking forward to Zozo. So Hayashi-san, please. So I will now talk about Zozo. Last year, for the first time in 10 years, we had a large-scale renewal last year. So what renewal did we do? What we did 10 years ago, Zozo Town originally created a CG town. It's the web, but it really resembled a town where you can really go to town and go shopping. But the concept shifted from town to people, and we wanted to really focus on user convenience because the users are now used to purchasing clothes over the web. So that type of transition happened 10 years ago. And after 10 years, Zozo has gone through a lot. And we decided, and we found a new challenge. And on the 18th of March of last year, we released this. So this is a concept, more fashion and fashion tech. So this is also our business strategy. Before the renewal, we also started offering Zozo Suit, where you measured the measurements online. We wanted to bring together tech and fashion to offer new value and experience to the world. And this is what we're working on. And there are some challenges on purchasing fashion on EC. There's always difficulty, and we wanted to solve that using technology. And we launched Zozo Glass on the same day. Zozo Glass, and 1 year prior, Zozo Mat, where you measured the size of your feet. And within the shopping mall called Zozo Town, there's a mall, Zozo Cosme, which is a cosmetics mall. And we also built Zozo Mat, which is a mall for shoes. And we call this mall in mall. In case of shoes, the users might be hesitant because they don't know if the size is right. And for cosmetics, the tint of the colors, because cosmetics has lots of colors and tints, and that is evident when you see the actual product at the bricks and mortar store. But online, the color might be a little bit different from the actual color. So we wanted to solve that using technology. And also, more fashion, because fashion is our core business. And by bringing in more high brand, we wanted to really strengthen our branding that we are a fashion company. So we worked on these initiatives based on these keywords. And these are the detailed design updates. Left is the previous design back until March 2021, and right is the current design. The colors and the impression has changed. Previous Zozo Town is based on black. However, the customer has this image that Zozo is more on the men's side. So that was the image of Zozo. But we wanted to make it more modern and more gender neutral. So we really wanted to revamp this look and feel. And by really using less color, we wanted to give the stage to the products, because the merchandise is what we want the users to see. That is what we had in mind when designing. And at the same time, maybe this is too subtle, but we also updated the logo. Before, the logo was based on Helvetica font. But the corporate logo was started to use Zozo Gothic, which is an in-house font. So we also replaced our logo to Zozo Gothic. And also the icons were also updated. So, and on the very right, this type of gender type of icons. Before, there were two legs looking like people, but we made it one leg. So it's rather than a person, this is more like a torso. So this is a little bit of fun put into the design. So we enjoyed these updates together with the business. And we're really focusing on cosmetics and growing shoes. So user experience and business really went hand in hand. And when introducing new content and renewing the site, because this might leave the users behind to some extent, because if we renew things, some users might feel left behind. So a background theme among the designer is to really keep the most important things intact. So even if we renew everything, the customers might not really see this as a value. So we really the designers really made sure that we don't go too far to really make sure the customers can really follow. And also, we wanted to make sure that this path or route for the customers to purchase things will keep on being easy and convenient for the customers. About Yahoo, there's a lot Yahoo Japan can learn from Zozo. So, Risa-san, do you have any questions? Thank you. We are very much inspired by Zozo. Question, going too far. You said you don't want to go far. So what are the, have there been some cases when you thought you went too far? So these are small things. We are also users of the service. So even if you don't find some icon which you already found at a certain place is no longer there, there will be some sense of elation. So we made sure that everything familiar stayed where they are. And the search and the merchandise details page. So the page transitions, we wanted to keep so that the user won't even notice any change. So that is something that we had in mind. so the user don't have to worry. Yes, this will be totally natural for the users. We wanted to keep the shopping experience intact. But the top screen has changed. The landing page has really changed, right? Yes, because we wanted to expand a new business category. So as a front page where the customers really access, so it's the banners are extremely important. But there are many businesses which want to stand out. So by having 3 separate malls, there we can really communicate more. And there's also a demand and supply that we needed to match. So that part we drastically changed to be able to communicate what we want to communicate to the customers, and we to have a better communication. That is where we changed.
But as for the assortment, we tried hard, and as for the shopping decision phase, we try not to change it anymore. Okay, understand. All right, thank you. So let us move on to Yahoo shopping story. So Risa-san, will you start your presentation? So you just renewed, right? That is my focused story for today. So on 12th October, Yahoo shopping was also renewed dramatically. So let me talk about that. As for the concept, kind of surprising experience. So there is a rich page at the beginning, and also some major pages are also upgraded. So this is a kind of busy slide. So sorry about that. So as for the trigger of the renewal, so there was a PayPay as well as Yahoo shopping. There are 2 pages. However, we try to integrate these 2. So that was the big turning point for us. So as for Yahoo shopping and PayPay Mall, each of have separate concepts. So as for PayPay shopping or PayPay Mall, everything is available. Many people are using it. It's hard to see the picture. However, everything is there, and in a sense, this is a mixture of everything. And as for PayPay Mall, that was about Yahoo shopping. However, PayPay Mall was something new. So it's a kind of clean, and also it's a kind of combination of the selected items. That's about PayPay Mall, and the previous one is about Yahoo Japan shopping. So we started with the advertisement of Mall when we released PayPay Mall, and when we decided to integrate these 2. So the first thing we tried to think about was what was the ideal shopping floor. So as for the image, so it's more like a large shopping mall, like this picture. So there are many people enjoying shopping, and also as for the walk line as well as the like the real shopping floors, there can be some space that you can take a rest. So that was the image of the shopping mall. As a keyword, safe, comfort, and liveliness. So these 3 keywords are the underlying concept of this renewal. And based on that, so this is not purely for the customers, but when it comes to making product and services, the focused concept is displayed here. So it looks nice, but just understanding in 1 second would be very important. So we had a lot of designers involved. So in total, I think there are about 20 designers. So of course, everybody has some particular design that they would like to pursue. So when you cannot make a decision among several options, so we try to make this as a criteria for the selection. So which one will be easier for you to understand to make a decision in 1 second? So when you decide to choose as your portfolio, which one do you choose? That was also the question that we came up with to make a decision. So in those ways, we're able to easily decide in many options, or among many options. And that might be closer to what we already talked about. So the cost of the thinking and operation, this should be minimized as much as possible. So this would give us a stress-free type of processing. And to be more specific, let me show you some samples. The top page was like this, so banner was enlarged, and so that easier to understand as well as easier to see. And also as for the search page, there are many factors or elements in one page. However, in this renewal, so detailed mode and overview mode, so we focused more on images. That's how we renewed those pages. So there are many other pages that we revised, but those are just examples. Thank you very much. So when it comes to Yahoo Japan Shopping, we are also collaborating with Zozo and others. But anyway, we have to provide various types of information. And when it comes to the top, the information is it can be very crowded pages with a lot of information. So we try to deduct unnecessary ones. So because this is about design, appearance is very important. And also we need to be very particular about the materials, graphics, and so on. So which to choose? So which is easier to see, comfortable to see? So this has less information. So even if this has less information, so check it from the point of whether this is easier to see or not. That was the criteria in the selection. So Hashimoto-san, do you have any questions? Yeah, you gave us a picture of comparison. So renewed ones are much easier for us to see. So the philosophy of line includes simplicity. So those factors are actually reflected. So you try to minimize information, and that essential information is displayed on one page. I think that was the design concept. And simplicity means easiness to understand. So as you just mentioned, so from the point of the users, so that will reduce the cost for thinking, and that would lead to the usability, nice usability. So when I looked at your materials, so the money and pricing, that was actually enlarged. And also the description is one sentence, so you can communicate the essence in 1 second. That type of speediness is very important. I think those are actually embodied in those pages. So I think that was a nice example. I think I learned a lot. It was very good to see it. Oh, thank you very much. What about you, Mr. Hayashi? Do you have any questions? Yeah, similarly, the cost of understanding on the side of the users. So understand in 1 second. So my wording might be different. So when I talk with my boss, even when we do not understand the meaning of the languages, but just looking at the screen, pictures, you just click it, you understand where to click it. So sometimes pictures, screens are the ones that shows everything and make them understand. That would be very important. And in order to achieve that simplicity and also to focus on essential point would be very important. So it's regardless of the services. So that's really the thing that I really thought that is true. Yeah, we often say the word depth. So Zozo-san is trying to combine fashion and technology. So it's a kind of in a sense, a kind of contradictory type of combination. However, there are many things going to change in smartphones. So appearance as well as others. So at the beginning, there is there can be some dissonance. However, users will always start checking and clicking. So depth, simplicity, 1 second understanding. So I think it's a kind of buzzword among others to facilitate communications, or for us to facilitate communication. So looking at your recent renewal examples, I was trying to come up with some common topic among us. However, we had a nice discussion. So we are running out of time already. So I just want to give us one word. So in the area of UX, we sometimes receive a kind of ball from ideas from the designers. So are designers the only persons who think about UX? I see, thank you. So when we imagine the experience on the side of the users, which is UX, that's not the thing only for designers, but thus it should include engineering as well as marketing. So it's not the area that designers are only focused on. Okay, thank you. Mr. Hayashi, how do you feel? Yeah, I agree. So it should involve various types of people, and that would widen the scope of the way of concept. However, as a role of designer, I think that all types of mixture of thought should be landed in some way. So that can be a kind of role of a designer. Okay, thank you. But how about you? So I think all the people should be UX designer, in my idea. So especially in the area of e-commerce, there are various factors need to be included, such like the number of items as well as delivery, as well as statistics of the sales as well as pricing. So all the people should consider about UX, and that will give them nice experience for users.
Thank you. So as Hashimoto-san said in the beginning, you give the stage in the design, and then you build up the experience on top of that. And we are the ones who come up with the initial design. But the UX should be thought about not only by designers, but everyone, so that we can come up with great services. Now time has arrived, so we would like to close. But is there anything that you need to say before ending? Yeah, I wanted to keep on talking with you. Maybe if we could start, I thought we could start this type of discussion earlier, but your portion was so interesting. So this is the end. So we would like to close. EC or Internet started in 1995 in Japan. PC started and Internet started back then. And since then, EC services have kept on evolving. In 2020, under COVID, I think EC has grown explosively. As we can see, everyone is wearing masks. So in the beginning, it was so difficult to get hold of these masks even. And Hayashi-san from Zozo was also saying, there are some difficulties in EC. EC can never convey, like being able to actually wear the outfit, how heavy it is, how it feels like. But the reverse side is you can just purchase it in one click. So there are something that could be done only by EC. So through this discussion, I hope this has given good ideas to designers and others to try new things. So we would now like to close. Thank you. Thank you very much for watching.